Hey guys, this is the ancient iron pillar of India. It has many baffling features which have not been explained till date. One of the strangest features is that it has not rusted for more than 1,000 years, although we can see some rusting in the recent years. Archaeologists confirm that this was created at least 1,600 years ago, but it could be much older than that. An iron pillar made such a long time ago should have rusted and completely disintegrated. How was such a pillar made 1,600 years ago at a time when historians claim there was no advanced technology? In 2002, scientists studied the iron pillar and realized that it has a strange way of reacting to the atmosphere. Normally, iron reacts with moisture in the atmosphere or rain and produces iron oxide, which is called rust. Now, this rust is very powerful. It will deteriorate the iron and eventually destroy the entire structure. For example, if you look at this Nandu Bridge in China, which is less than 80 years old, it has been completely taken over by rust, making the bridge unusable. But the iron pillar does something very strange. When it comes in contact with moisture or rain, it produces a strange material called mesawite, which has not been seen anywhere before. This material actually forms a protective coating over the iron pillar and shields it from damage and also increases its magnetic property. Now, why does the iron pillar create mesawite instead of rust or iron oxide? What makes this iron pillar produce such a strange compound that is not seen anywhere else? The iron pillar is actually made of 98% iron, 1% phosphorus, and the remaining 1% is made of an ancient concoction called Vajrasangata. This concoction is clearly explained in ancient Indian texts. The Vajrasangata is created by mixing 8 parts of lead, 2 parts of bell metal, and 2 parts of cults of brass. So if you look at the total composition of the iron pillar, it is made of a complex alloy created in ancient times. Instead of rusting, which is iron oxide, the phosphorus and Vajrasangata make water vapor, which is H2O, to convert into mesawite, a compound of iron, oxygen, and hydrogen. This layer actually protects the pillar from rusting. So the pillar would accumulate this protective coating over the course of many centuries, making it even more stronger. Now, remember I showed you Surangtila, the temple that withstood a massive earthquake. The stones of this temple were also bound by ancient binding materials, making it last forever. So you can see that the ancient Indian technology was really advanced in creating structures that stand the test of time. The other intriguing question is this: who created this pillar? Now, there is an ancient inscription in Sanskrit on this pillar, which only hints at who could have created this structure. The inscription refers to a king called Chandra and mentions that his empire basically extended beyond all the borders of today's India. It also explicitly mentions that his empire covered the southern ocean of India, which refers to the Indian Ocean. All experts think this refers to the king Chandragupta Maurya, who lived around 300 BC. The problem is that even the most exaggerated versions agree that Chandragupta never reached the Indian Ocean. His empire did not touch the southern tip of India. but experts don't know of any other king with the name of Chandra who ruled the entire Indian subcontinent. But there is another king described in ancient texts who's not being considered. He is none other than Rama, the hero of the Indian epic Ramayana. Rama was explicitly mentioned with the suffix Chandra in ancient Indian texts and referred to as Ramachandra. Rama did cross the Indian Ocean in the southernmost point to defeat the king of Sri Lanka. But there is another startling evidence in the inscription. All experts agree that what you see on the screen right now is the most accurate literal translation of the Sanskrit inscription. This inscription clearly mentions that the king who installed the iron pillar left to another world in actual form, which means he left physically to another world. Now, these words are completely ignored by modern-day historians because they argue that all ancient civilizations were primitive and could not possess advanced technology like spacecraft. But all Hindu texts repeatedly state that the gods came down from the sky and used advanced flying machines like vimanas. The ancient text of Padma Purana explicitly says that Rama left the earth and reached another planet called Vishnu Loka. Now, even though all evidences point in this direction, why don't historians consider Rama as the person who installed this pillar? Because, according to historians, Rama is not a historical figure. He is a fictional character mentioned in mythology and not in history. If you look at the history of Indian history, today's history books formally began during the British occupation, and they blanketly claim that any king who existed in India before 600 BC were merely mythical figures. Now, this is the reason why figures like Rama and Krishna do not appear in history books, even though these ancient texts are called Itihasa, which means history. Of course, in History Channel, I've repeatedly stated that ancient Hindu texts show the real history of India. The fact that this pillar is still standing is enough evidence that ancient India had a very advanced technology. We have looked at many questions about the iron pillar, like how was it built, who could have built it, and so on. But the main question is this: why was the iron pillar built and placed in this location? What is the reason for constructing it with such complicated materials? Archaeologists claim that this is just a decorative flagpost which served no real purpose. I mean, this is total nonsense. In my videos, I've shown you how every ancient Indian structure was created for a specific reason. The wheels in temples were created to show time. Even the smallest carvings served a purpose. So the real question is, why was the iron pillar made in such a fashion that it won't rust like all modern electrical equipment? Today, all electrical components are specifically manufactured to be non-corrosive. But why was such a structure needed in ancient times? Most importantly, how is it connected to the huge tower nearby known as Qutub Minar? Do you know that if you exclude the height of modern-day railings of the Qutub Minar was built exactly 10 times taller than the iron pillar. The height of the iron pillar is 7.21 meters, and the height of the Qutub Minar is 72.1 meters. Is this a coincidence that they were built to a 1:10 ratio? To understand this mystery, we have to examine ancient Indian texts to see if they mention electricity. I hope you like this video. I'm Praveen Mohan. Thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Please do give this video a thumbs up and share it. And I will talk to you soon. Bye.